Hi there, welcome to Double Bill Movies. I'm Trevor, and this episode is going to be about two war films. World War II films to be exact. Kind of one of my favourite subjects. First one is 1970s Tora, 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 and the 2001 remake. So the more accurate of the two will be is Tora, 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 and I watched the extended version of this. It was the first time I'd seen it, and I was really impressed. I really liked the film anyway, but I haven't seen it enough, the theatrical version, to really know which bits were new. Plus it had been a while since I'd seen it anyway, so yeah, this really needs a 4K release. Now, it is a 20th Century Fox title, so the chances of that happening on physical media anyway is very, very slim. But as the film started and it got going, the picture detail is just amazing. The colours are lovely, and just everything about it. I really needed to see it on a big screen. So yeah, so the story, if you don't know, revolves around the attack on Pearl Harbor in December 7th, 1941. Pearl Harbor is in Hawaii, and basically the Americans had decided they weren't going to keep supplying the Japanese with oil and any other resources they needed due to their still being at war with China. And you know, they thought, well, that's not right, you shouldn't be fighting them, so we're not going to help you out anymore. Kind of backed them into a corner basically, and Japan's sort of answer and push to get out of that corner was a surprise attack. And approximately 8 o'clock the morning, Hawaiian time, the Japanese turned up and bombed Pearl Harbor and created a big mess, really. So I won't go into too much detail, because if you haven't seen the film before, then you know it's nice for you to find out for yourself. But at the beginning of the film, there's a lot of toing and froing between the embargo, well, we're not going to supply you oil anymore, and the Japanese trying to work out what they're going to do, and basically the whole planning of the attack. And there's a lot of tension building at the beginning of this film, and believe me, it works really well. The music score is a help in that. There's one scene where there's like a party going on in America, and because obviously they were still a neutral country at that point. They were not in World War II at that point. And so you can hear, you're outside, but you can hear the party music, and of course it's 20s and 30s, maybe 40s music, but the score is still sort of pulsing away in a slightly off-kilter way compared to the party music you can hear. And that, I really understood that this time. Maybe that was an extra scene that I don't remember, and it sort of added to the tension, and I was like, yeah, that's really putting me on edge, you know. Then of course you get the attack once all the deceiving and this is happening, this isn't happening, or whatever, and the Americans frantically trying to work out. They could work out pretty quickly that they were going to be attacked, but they didn't know where. once the attack starts, they still had use of original Japanese planes then, so there isn't many models in the attack, let's put it that way. Obviously a lot of the big ships, some of them would have been real, but there are some really good model scenes, and you know, interspersed with the real live action, and very well together put film. There's even the bit on the miniature submarine that's almost got to the coast of Pearl Harbor, and the reason I say that is because it's only mentioned in the 2001 remake, and it does seem quite an important part of the attack that they very nearly got in there to attack. It was only a 2-man midgy sub, but it's, you know, it's like I said, quite an important part. And then the film also brings to light, but only in a very brief way, a certain Doris Miller. Now, he became the first black, was he enlisted man? Anyway, he was in the military. He was, I think he was a chef, a cook. That's basically what they were: cooks, cleaners. You know, black people in those times, and all the, you know, the white men went off to do the fighting, but the black man can't do anything. Well, of course they can, and he proved it. He took one of the guns that had sadly been vacated by one of the other sailors, and he started shooting at Japanese planes, and he shot a couple down, and he was awarded a medal for it. And but in Tora, that's how they say it in the film, it was only really, they showed him pick up the gun, they showed him shoot a bit, and that was it. You don't see or hear from him again. Anyway, love the film. It's well worth a watch. It's just over 2 hours, and just a brilliant film. So, on to the 2001 remake. This comes from Buena Vista Home Entertainment, and I also have the soundtrack by Mr. Hans Zimmer. I really like collecting soundtracks, and that's something I wanted to sort of do for this channel. Anytime I have a soundtrack, to bring it out and say I have the soundtrack. No, it's a very good soundtrack. And initially, years ago when this came out, and my enthusiasm for World War II was just starting to grow, and this came out, and the sound effects, and it would only have been on DVD back then, and getting it on DVD and watching it, and the first surround sound system we had, I was like, wow, this is, you know, this is amazing. This is what a war film is. And as I've grown older and I've learned more about Pearl Harbor and the war in general, and through Facebook groups, other enthusiasts, that every time you mention this film, you're going to get a lot of displeasure for it in the comments. So the more I, not listening to them, but now when I look at it and I think, yeah, okay, I see what they're getting at. Michael Bay didn't want to use models as such, and so he used real ships. And of course, these real ships at the time were not period correct. So anyway, this starts a couple of young boys playing in a makeshift plane. A bit later on, you see them in two American, I think they're P-30s, P-31s, and basically they're showing off. You know, they're two pilots by then, obviously, And then interspersed with that is a love story. Now, to me, Michael Bay has picked up on the what I call the romance, and I don't just mean the lovey-dovey part, but the romance of the old films from the 30s, 40s and 50s, just everything about them. He's wanted to bring aspects of that in. And so there's the romance story. And it kind of goes on a little bit. And to be honest, if it was a separate film, it would be a great war story, you know, love story, set during World War II. And then all the attack of Pearl Harbor, which is very, very well done, despite the period incorrect ships. The other effects that they did use, practical full-size sets, and the way they set up Pearl Harbor itself was brilliantly done. And as I said, when I first started to watch this on DVD, I was like, wow. Then a job I used to have, I worked for a company where we did quality assurance, and this was one of the titles we did. So I got paid to sit and watch this on Blu-ray when Blu-ray first started. Remember that war, Blu-ray, HD DVD? Yeah, we knew straight away that Blu-ray was going to win. But anyway, so I got to see this in amazing picture, and for the first time, uncompressed multi-channel audio. There were a few DVDs that had 2-channel uncompressed audio, so it wasn't the first time of having it, but this was the first multi-channel. And you know, it's amazing, the airplanes flying around and bullets whizzing and all the chaos and everything going on, and it's fantastic to watch. Again, as it's Buena Vista, which is attached to Disney, we may not see it on a 4K disc. There may be a 4K stream of it, but again, I don't have 4K setup at the moment, but that's all right. But you know, watching this now, I still enjoy it. And watching them back to back, I actually watched Tora 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 on December 7th last year, as it was the 80th anniversary of the attack. And when I worked it out, the time difference between me in the UK and Hawaii, it was almost to the hour as well that the attack started. So the following day is when I watched Pearl Harbor. This is about 3 hours long. Now, obviously lots of Japanese actors in this, and lots of amazing American actors. Names I can't really remember at the moment, but in Pearl Harbor, you have Josh Hartnett, what's his name, Ben Affleck, and Kate Beckinsale. Now, if any of you have seen my unboxing of the Underworld box set, I mentioned Kate's dad, and I forgot his name then. I couldn't remember it, so I just said Mr. Beckinsale. Anyway, yesterday morning I woke up and went, Richard Beckinsale. That was his name. So Kate Beckinsale is Richard Beckinsale's daughter. Richard was Godber in a British comedy series called Porridge, if you don't know. He was also in another comedy series called Rising Damp, I think, with Reginald Perrin. He sadly left us too young. You know, he didn't go beyond the Porridge series, which I think was the 70s. So it's a shame, but we have his lovely daughter, and she looks wonderful in this. Now, there is another movie, oh, I'll put it over here, which has a Pearl Harbor sequence in it, and you may know it, this new Midway film. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I have the old Midway film and I will do an episode on those two. But the Pearl Harbor sequence in that version of Midway is very good. I was a little disappointed to see it actually when I went to see that midway at the cinema, because it's like, oh, you know, you're only going to do a little bit, when actually it was quite a big thing. They've made 2 films out of it. Yes, I understand why they did a new bit, because they want to introduce the story to a new younger audience. But the Midway story is quite big as well. The original movie is a whole movie just about Midway. So why you needed to have all the different aspects that were in that version, I don't know. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I'm going to try now to get back into doing these reviews. Now we've got Christmas and New Year out of the way. Happy New Year, by the way. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas and got lots of nice presents and Blu-rays and DVDs and, well, maybe not DVDs anymore, but and 4Ks, you know, hopefully. Yeah, I've got a few different ideas I would like to do. This channel is about originals and their remakes, but I've thought of doing what I call double bill movie discoveries, where basically over the years I've come across a film, I've taken a chance on it, and it's been brilliant. So I'm going to pick pairs of those, because you can't just do one on a double bill movie channel, can you? So then another thing I wanted to do was original movies and their spoofs. So yeah, some of these movies I'm doing at the moment may get revisited, but with their spoof involved instead of a remake. So I mentioned in my trailer that I would put a link to a song where a band has taken a clip from a movie, and I will stick with the one that I started with for now. I think it's really hard actually, and I only worked it out myself because I was watching the film and I thought, I've heard that bit before, and then I had to hunt for the song that it was in. So I will put a link in the description to that video on YouTube of the song. There will be a time code so that you don't have to listen to the song if you don't want to. Just go straight to where the movie clip is, and let me know in the comments if you can work out which movie it's from. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope to see you again soon. Take it easy.